I'm super excited to have been part of this boot camp. Just so many new things have come addressed. I mean, just techniques, evolution, things that we've talked about in the past. Of course, a new university online.
I would say that we have all the reason to feel so excited. I mean, we just finished today the level 6 and 7, and it was an awesome boot camp.
They were a good group. They were very...
They work hard. Obviously, not everybody made it, but nevertheless, they work
the
so
higher
hard.
levels are tough, right?
It is tough. It's tough mentally, physically, technically. But at the same time, I should say that this bootcamp was one of the best because the group works so nice together.
Well, I noticed for the first time, and I know we've discussed this before, we started incorporating some of, I guess, getting some more of the traditional martial arts in there, just basic learning how to punch properly and throwing basic kicks and just kind of getting people more into, because I mean, you can teach them all the greatest techniques, but if they don't know how to throw a punch, it's kind of...
Absolutely. In fact, you're absolutely right. I mean, part of the evolution, now we're going to insert into the curriculum about 24 different moves. And some of the moves are extremely important. And let me take you a step back how everything started. I was lucky enough to grow in ways that I did grappling and striking. Everybody know about my grappling, but also I did striking. My father was a boxer, professional boxer, and I was training with him for years. So I kind of assume that every person understands how to do a hold, arm lock, choke, or throw a cross or a hook.
It's actually quite the opposite. Most don't.
And within the years, while I'm teaching instructors, we have great people in our system. Some have great background in grappling, some have great background in striking, and some few that have no background at all. And I said to myself, you know, maybe we should start thinking differently. We should insert into the system some grappling skill and some striking skill, but with a big warning, which every instructor have to know. And the warning is basically, don't think for a second that we're doing mixed martial art.
No, you can't.
No, you can't, because as soon as you do that, you're going to find it will be a rude awakening in reality situations.
Well, of course, you're not in the ring, it's not a referee, it's never one-on-one, and there's a lot of rules that is not on the street.
Absolutely. But you're absolutely right. When you said before, it was absolutely right. When we have our beautiful rhino to defend ourselves, if the guy don't know how to throw a punch, we cannot even practice the rhino properly.
Yeah.
And if you learn how to escape from a certain hold with...
Like an arm bar, and they don't know how to do an arm bar, how do you...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to insert that. But while we're training with CKM concept in mind.
Of course.
So for instance, if I teach my students to throw a cross, a hook, any kind of punch, and we start to spar with open hand, obviously, I will hold a knife. If the guy is just keep playing with me on the mid-range, I'm going to stab him.
Oh, he's dead.
So for that reason, you have to understand we use it only for two reasons. One, to play the bad guy properly, and which is the attacker. And second,
to make our attack
more realistic.
Effective,
right.
yeah, I mean.
But the second, and this is really important, Elon, the second part is that sometimes it really can help you. So if you're stuck in a very close situation and you want to disengage, you throw a good punch sometime, open palm, and you can escape. Yeah. Or sometime if you're on the ground and you understand how armband work, you will be better understanding how to escape from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as long as we keep that in mind, the evolution is very strong. We recorded in this bootcamp ton of different moves.
Yeah, it was really nice.
And it's exciting because now people will know how to perform any kind of grappling move, any striking move, plus new techniques that we put for level 7, for instance, the techniques that you really like.
Yes.
So all of that, it's really evolution. And I feel that the system is going to be, all the quality of our instructors and students will grow up and going to be so much better.
Yeah, and I'm super happy to be part of that evolution and be able to see it, which is exactly what the University Online is that you've created, which is, first of all, getting a great response from everyone. So many people are thrilled with it. Just one of the ladies, Becky, who was going to do her level 4, was able to look online before she even came here, and she said it helped her tremendously prepare for the boot camp.
Absolutely.
And not just that, it also helps when, sometimes we don't have people to practice with. We don't have the ability to see ourselves or see if we're making mistakes or missing little things. We can look at the notes as much as we want. But 6 months later, who really remembers exactly why you wrote, how you wrote?
Absolutely
So
correct.
it's just great because it's so technical. You get to see really everything properly, and it's always there for you, which is great. I think
Our
it's amazing.
system is one of the most technical systems in the world, and this is the reason that you can find our system. Like in this boot camp, we had two, high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor and very high-level Kyokushinkai instructors that are considered to be master in their field. One of them even the third dan in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Rickson Gacy. And they are here because they can appreciate how we are technical.
Right.
But when you are technical, there are so many fine details that you have to remember. And notes, as good as they are, will never going to be replacement to actually have a private lesson with me and some other, elite instructors that will give them everything just before they teach. So you can sit in Starbucks just before you're teaching and look at the class, and you know exactly what to do. You know exactly what question you're going to be asked. You know what kind of mistakes people will do. And so far, the response is unbelievable because...
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you look at the past. I mean, we're not young chickens anymore, right? We're getting up there. In my day, the technology wasn't there. You didn't have the ability to do that.
We take advantage of the technology today.
And now it's available, and it's such a good thing to be able to do that, because, again, just like we evolve, the world's always evolving. So why not use the tools that are given to us?
And that's part of, I'm very open-minded and always look at evolution in the system. And when we have such a great streaming, which was not really possible 10 years ago, is a huge for us. I mean, imagine I'm coming with new techniques tomorrow, and I want to give it to all my instructors immediately. It will be immediately on University Online. They will see a private lesson from me, they can train, and they can do everything. Because I tell you one thing very important, Ilan. I'm traveling all the time. I'm traveling all around the world, and I start noticing that we have really passionate instructors that love the system.
Yeah.
However, all of a sudden in Mexico, they do it differently than Italy, and in Italy they're doing different than Curacao. And I said to myself, wait a minute.
You got to have quality assurance.
We have one system, and the system have a core, very important thing. If you start teaching variation, and this is not their fault, they start to forget certain point and invented their way, but now everybody will be straightening the line and teaching the proper way, and everything will change.
And it's not just that. I mean, not everyone can afford. I mean, I know we've always offered to come at your own level. You can do as many boot camps as you want. You can repeat it. But even that being said, unless it's in your dojo or in your place, which a lot of people don't have, they got to travel, they got to fly, they got to get a hotel, and sometimes it's just they don't have the funds to do it.
Right.
Which makes it difficult for some of the instructors. But now they have the ability, they don't have to do that.
So what's going on now? So what happened is that we decided to make a huge change in the entire, contract with the instructor. The instructors so far had to progress every year to the next level. That's about $2,000.
Yeah.
And
American.
So what we start to, you're Canadian. So we start to notice.
It's a big difference if you're Canadian, believe me.
Right. So I decided to really do something that will make everybody happy. We reduced the price of the boot camp to $890.
Yeah, and it's a great deal. It ends up being $400 and something for the University Online.
For a year, yeah. That's unbelievable. And I say, what people have to understand, we are changing completely now the way we treat our instructors in a way that they will get the best quality techniques right to their home to be able to get better. And I believe that it's going to increase the level of all our instructors and students. So here are the things. It's basically the best way to understand that, it's an affiliation fee. Every instructor in our system that want to be CKM instructor has to pay it And when he pay it, he's getting the bonus of being part of the university online.
Which is amazing. I mean, I know, and of course I don't want to say or bash any other, I know another Krav Maga system, they charge $400 a month.
I know that.
And for what? I mean, what justifies that kind
and they
of
don't
money?
get
And they get
anything.
nothing.
Yeah.
They
So
get nothing.
practically, we do it because we want the system to grow. We want everybody to be successful. So the affiliation fee, including paying about $35 to $45 a month, depends what program you take. And this will allow you to get a free access to all the techniques up to your level at the university online. If you want the next level, you just simply buy a boot camp, the next boot camp, and immediately you get the technique so you can watch it.
So you already get to prepare before you go.
Exactly.
And I never had that.
Exactly.
No.
And you get so much more ready, then it's so easy for you in the boot camp. So those kind of things people really like. And the good thing is we already shot in this boot camp all the way to level 7.
Yeah.
So this with proper editing will be ready February to be online. And
Awesome.
that means next month people will be able to watch all the way to level 7 if they reach that level. And the beauty about that, which people really need to understand, our instructor need to understand, it's only for the good of the system. Because
100% agree.
I believe that affiliation fee also stress that if you do not want to go to a boot camp, from any reason, you are getting old, you're getting injured, or whatever reason you feel that it's okay for you to stay level 3. We said by all means, no problem, stay level 3.
As long as they stay current.
As long as that you're staying up to date with everything on university, and everything on university will be updated all the time.
And I think people need to understand because, again, and this is with most systems, even many of the other Krav Maga systems, we evolve all the time. Things are always changing. If we find something better, more simple, that works, better, we evolve, we change. And that's part of, I guess, the rule of your system is
Evolution. Right.
And the world is always evolving,
extinction.
it's always
Right.
changing, so we have to do the same.
And I would say that one of the concerns that some people had, and I had it in the past too, is what would happen if other people will find out what we do. So first of all, you cannot avoid it, because we had people who penetrate into our system from other systems, pretend to be CKM, and at one time or another took some techniques from level 1 to 4 and try to open their own system. All of them fail, which it's fine. But the point is that you cannot hide it. People see our surprise attacks, seeing here and so on. So what we say, okay, if somebody from the outside want to get to the university online, is only get the foundation level for a year. You have to train for a year on the foundation level before he's getting access to the level 3, right, and so forth. So we basically, and what can be going bad? If he's watching that, what's he going to say about the system? The system is so technical. Everybody will have to admit that this is a very technical system.
So why bother trying to get in there and sneak a peek?
Right. So for that reason, I think that there are more benefit to everybody. So let's say more students from all over the place will be interested of checking the university online, and definitely they would like to train.
Yeah.
So training in your living room with your grandmother is not the same like going to one of the certified instructors and training with them.
Different.
So what we do is even more than that. Any student from the outside that want to learn via the university online, we said, okay, if you just want to get student certificate, go ahead, study online, and then after 11 months, we send you to one of the instructor in the area. You have to train with him for 1 month, and he will test you. And so you pay the fees for the test and everything. That will be shared with the instructor, and he will pay for the fee for the months to train, and then you're going to be convinced to continue training. So we're going to give our instructors more business this way, and that will be good for the system as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if somebody wants to become an instructor via the university online, we say, okay, you can start learning, and as soon as you feel that you're ready, you have to go to a boot camp. Sign up to a boot camp, go through boot camp, go through what all our instructor went through, and if you qualified, we will give you the opportunity to become an instructor.
I just think it's such an amazing thing because it's an opportunity I never had. The first group, we were always, we'd not have the opportunity. We didn't even know what the next techniques were.
You
I
were
mean,
the first spear on the spear
right.
of the.
So when we did level 3, there was no level 4 yet.
It was in my
It
head.
only came when,
Yeah.
yes, it was in your head, right?
Right.
So at
And-
least these guys, they at least had the opportunity to see what's
Oh yeah,
coming up.
many people don't
But
know.
now
that.
it's even better because they can actually see what's coming up.
You're the first generation,
Yeah.
level
So
8.
it's a tremendous, I think that's a tremendous help, huge.
Right.
That would have been huge.
And I would say to all my instructors, you're going to be amazed how much the University Online going to help all of us to grow together. And I want to wish all of us great 2017. Thank you, Ilan.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.